certainly solidified our place as 50th worst place in the country to do business for the foreseeable future. I think it's a real sad day for the elderly in Maine and a real sad day for us.
Is that a message that you'll share with people outside of Maine?
I don't understand what you mean.
I guess if you're talking to businesses that might want to come here, will you tell them about that, what you see as a negative?
I don't need to tell people outside of Maine. They already know. They're hoping that we move forward. People outside of Maine have been telling me this for 2.5 years. I thought that with the 125th we have made some moves forward. I thought that there was enough courage to continue moving forward for the state of Maine. We've been not a very good place to do business for 40 years, and we're just wanting that position to be a better place to do business.
Governor,
Governor, are you actually surprised by the result today? Was it kind of forecast for the last few days?
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. No. I believe me, let's put it this way. Last week when I summoned the final battle and I asked the troops to fix bayonets, I only heard one click.
Governor, is there any solace in the fact that you were able to retain or preserve the 2011 tax cuts in this budget? I mean, you were able to save those. Is there
We
any?
didn't save anything. That didn't help. I mean, if they would, all that would have done, frankly, is it would have ensured a Republican and massive Republican win in 14 if they would have overturned those. I believe that that's where the Democrats lost the courage. I think the Republicans lose courage, in 40 years.
Governor, most of the discussion on the House floor and the Senate floor was centered around the 1991 shutdown and what the mood and atmosphere in the building was like, and it seemed to kind of weaken the resolve.
Well, first of all, I think the Attorney General made a political statement to the legislature, which I wish she wouldn't have done. She said that the Constitution requires a balanced budget, but that's not what the Constitution says. The Constitution says the state cannot spend more than it takes in. So I think they got bad advice. I think our solution, we could have avoided a shutdown. There's no need for a shutdown. We could have had an agreement to move forward for 60 days and see if we couldn't find a better place than to raise taxes. I still believe that was the right way to go, but I'm only one. There's 181 of them.
In the overall scheme of the legislature, Governor, they've sustained like a record number of your vetoes. Do you have any satisfaction in the stuff that you were able
This
to
is how I
pull?
feel. If any of you have read history, you remember that during the Revolutionary War, Cornwallis won most of the battles, and he lost the war. That's how I feel.
Governor, back over this session, could you have done anything differently over the past 6 months to negotiate earlier with the Democrats, do any sort of things differently than you've done?
Well, I've tried, but the Democrats don't want to negotiate. They have not. Do you realize that they have passed the budget, they've sustained an override, and no one in the Democratic Party in the state of Maine ever asked me a question about my budget. So I tried. I invited them down. I tried. They simply have never spoken to me, nor did they intend to speak to me. Folks, I'm going to tell you this. I don't think it's me you got to look at. You got to look at the third floor. I care deeply about the elderly in this state. I care deeply about the 3,100 people that qualify for Medicaid, but the legislature won't give us the money. I care deeply about the J&G program. I think it's one of the bright lights of our education system, but they cut that. So I don't know. I don't know what I could have done differently. I honestly believe that the budget that was put up in January was a good budget. It was a budget where we need to start looking at a state that has been 50th as a place to do business. And whether or not we like business is irrelevant. because economies move by the strength of its business, and it's by the strength of its economy. And so, to me, the message is, let's not waste any time, let's not work any more 18-hour days trying to attract business. They don't want it. I mean, we're gonna continue doing our job, but I don't have any hope. I think you're gonna hear more, like I was told earlier this summer, is what's your tax rate and what's your energy costs? And I hear that all the time, so I don't have much hope.
Governor,
What
do you have
are
any
your priorities going forward into next year?
I don't know. Right now, I'm gonna continue working on domestic violence, and I don't have a priority. I mean, the Senate, the House and Senate told me what our priorities are, and I will enforce the laws and put them in. But I don't have any more priorities. We put it all in the budget and we get defeated.
Governor, do you have any hope of, in the coming months, working with any legislators to perhaps modify sections of the budget that you're not a fan of?
I've been trying for 2.5 years to work with Democrats, and it hasn't worked very well. I'm serious, folks. I really am appalled that the Democratic leadership has never, ever talked to me about this budget. I have asked them to come down here 2 or 3 times, and every time that they've come to talk to me, the answer's been no. I don't know what else I can do. I can continue working it, but until the Maine people send people to Augusta that are willing to work on their behalf, this is what we're gonna have. And I'm very disappointed on this budget. I think the budget was a good budget. You know, until we start understanding what makes an economy drive and why the Southeast and the Southwest and the Atlantic states have such good economies, until we emulate some of their behaviors, we're not gonna be anywhere but 50th place in the country for doing business. And we are gonna have elderly people who struggle from month to month from their Social Security. I mean, you realize people say it's only a little tax increase. It's 10% tax increase, folks. It's 10% on fixed income. Pretty rough. 14% on meals and lodging. I'm not so concerned about the lodging, although I think it's just because we have a reasonably good tourism industry doesn't mean we have to destroy it. But I'll tell you, the food tax is a bad one, because 60% of people that frequent restaurants in the state of Maine are Mainers, not out-of-staters. So that tax, the food and beverage tax is clearly on the Mainers, on Maine people.
Governor, you
I
mentioned,
understand the obstacles you faced in trying to bring Democrats to the table, but what was the tone of the discussions you had with some of these key Republicans? Was there a common theme that they had? And
frankly, I said the Democrats didn't talk to me much, neither did Republicans. I mean, a few of them did. I will say this, Mike Thibodeau has been a very, very strong leader. He's been trying to move the state forward. He understands business. Other than that, in the House, there was a few that hung with us and are real strong. They understand what needs to happen in Maine. But overall, there's not been much discussion. I was told by the Republican on appropriations, they had made me a promise on the evening that they had their all-night session, and I woke up in the morning and they broke it. So it didn't last long, maybe 2 hours.
House Leader Fredette made the comment this morning that neither you nor anyone from your administration ever approached him about the continuing resolution proposal.
Well, he hasn't been around for a while. We've been talking about it for a week now, and frankly, he hasn't been around. I don't know. If he was here, we would have talked about it. I spoke to some folks up there, and I know my staff has, so you've got to be here. You know, I'm here. If you're not here, I don't know what I can do.
Governor, Representative Fredette mentioned from the floor today this idea that Republicans had to stop this idea of a circular firing squad, which I guess is some sort of analogy for infighting and that sort of thing. Is that, I don't know, I mean, what's your reaction to that? I don't know if you heard him
I
say it.
have no comment. I mean, I don't know what he did or said, but he's entitled to his opinion. I will say this, the Republican Party is not a very strong party.
Next session, Governor, you had, at the end of the tail end of this session, you talked a little bit about trying to negotiate a deal on right to work for a Medicaid expansion. Is that something that would be on your list for 2014? Is that, you're done?
Done.
What about the energy bill? There's a, you know, a second part of the override vote in the Senate tonight. Have you made any inroads there?
There's only one override. The overrode, I don't know anything about that.
Well, the Senate has to take up the, takes it up tonight.
Is the House overrode? Okay.
I don't know if you've been able to make any inroads there on that. Okay.
No. It's been Representative Fredette, and he's been unwilling to talk to me about it. So.
Governor, does this override, does this, I know you made a comment last week, which may have been serious, may not, about running for Congress.
No, I'm not running for Congress.
Does this vote impact your desire whether or not to seek another term as governor?
It's certainly going to be part of I am going to be meeting with my family at some point, and we're going to talk it over. This certainly has a, this is a pretty serious setback in the state of Maine. I think this is quite frankly, I don't know how you recover from this. I really don't know how you recover from a tax increase when you are one of the worst states to do business in. I've done a lot of workouts, I've done a lot of turnarounds. I've done it in Waterville, I've done it with numbers of businesses, but this is an obstacle that is, that's like having a massive hole in the bottom of your ship and you're trying to get across the pond.
Governor, what is your response to the argument made by several Republicans too that the elderly would have been impacted more by a property tax increase that would have come under your budget?
Well, first of all, I disagree. Having been a mayor, I disagree that anything that's done in Augusta is going to create tax increases. I ran a city for 8 years, 3 elections, never had to increase taxes, and the state and federal government cut back every year. It's all a matter of priorities. The communities have choices. They can work together,